The stakes couldn't be higher as the Oklahoma City Thunder and Denver Nuggets clash again in an electric Western Conference matchup. One of these teams is destined to advance, and this series has been nothing short of unpredictable. Heading into Game 5, both teams had already exchanged blows in what's been an intense and competitive battle. The series was tied 2-2, with each squad claiming victories at home and showing flashes of dominance. But tonight, all eyes were on who could seize control and get one step closer to the Western Conference Finals first quarter. Intensity from the tip. The game opened with a spark as Chet Holmgren, struggling from deep throughout the series, nailed a crucial three-pointer right from the top. It was the kind of shot that set the tone. OKC was ready, confident, and energized by the home crowd. Holmgren's stroke was smooth, and the shot fell clean, nothing but net. Denver, on the other hand, came out flat. The Nuggets shot a woeful 31% in Game 4 and weren't showing signs of heating up early in Game 5 either. Aaron Gordon missed an early jumper, and Jamal Murray couldn't find the rhythm. Meanwhile, the Thunder's star, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, wasted no time getting aggressive. He accelerated through the lane with his signature glide and scored, bringing the crowd to its feet. OKC's defense was locked in. Both teams committed turnovers early, but OKC's scrappiness stood out, as announcers joked about whether it was a rock fight or great defense. It was clear the Thunder were dictating the game physically. Dort took a three that didn't fall, but Holmgren battled to keep the possession alive, tipping it back. Though Denver eventually recovered, it was evident the Thunder were more energetic and focused. Denver assistant David Adelman had emphasized the need for Michael Porter Jr. to step up offensively, but early on he couldn't buy a bucket. He missed back-to-back looks from mid-range, and OKC cleaned the glass. The Nuggets opened the game 1 for 6 from the field, an ominous sign. SGA leads. The charge SGA controlled the tempo, slicing through defenders and absorbing contact with grace. Even when he lost footing momentarily, he stayed composed, resetting the offense. The Nuggets, meanwhile, looked disjointed. Their ball movement was off, and their perimeter shooting, especially from the corners, was still abysmal. In the Game 4, they were 0 of 17 on corner threes. Tonight wasn't much better early on. Nikola Jokić, Denver's MVP and anchor, was struggling too. OKC's length, especially Holmgren's shot-contesting ability, clearly bothered him. Jokić had a few good looks inside, but his soft touch wasn't converting as usual. He missed another close-range flip shot, and Holmgren grabbed the rebound. The Thunder continued to share the ball. SGA kicked it out to Dort, reset the offense, and worked a switch to get Michael Porter Jr. on an island. The play broke down, but their comfort moving the ball around stood out. This OKC team, young as they are, plays with rhythm and trust. Game. Flow, tug of war as the quarter rolled on, the storyline stayed consistent. Denver was ice cold from deep, 0 of 5 to start, while OKC found some rhythm. Jalen Williams knocked down a wide-open three, the kind of shot Denver had been giving up by packing the paint. It was clear Denver's strategy was to force OKC to shoot over the top. But now, those shots were dropping. When Jokić tried to facilitate, he found Christian Braun on a mismatch. OKC responded with help defense immediately, forcing a kick-out. Jamal Murray got the ball with the shot clock winding down and tried to rise over Dort. Tough shot, no good. Back in transition, SGA pushed again. Denver couldn't stop him from getting to his spots. His body control in traffic is elite, and when he finishes, the momentum swings. Eventually, Aaron Gordon got one to go, a deep three that broke the Nuggets' early scoring drought. That gave them a bit of life, and the game started to settle into a rhythm. Still, the contrast between the two teams was apparent. OKC was aggressive, hunting open shots, forcing turnovers, and crashing the boards. Denver looked flat, relying too much on Jokić to create magic. Without consistent support from their perimeter players, Denver couldn't generate quality looks. Game 1 flashbacks. Tight from the start, fans were reminded of Game 1, where the finish came down to a dramatic comeback. Tonight had a similar feel early on. Tight, gritty, and full of swings. Game 2 had been a blowout win for OKC. Game 3, a Denver overtime thriller. And Game 4, a fourth-quarter OKC blitz to steal one on the road. That emotional tug-of-war has defined this series. Tonight, both teams knew what was at stake. Mid-quarter momentum swings. With the shot clock winding down, Jamal Murray tried again to shake off the cold start, but he couldn't connect. Meanwhile, OKC got a great open look. Williams again, and this time, he buried it from deep. That basket came with 4 Denver defenders in the paint. Clearly, their focus was preventing drives at all costs, but the Thunder were making them pay with the outside shot. If Williams and Holmgren can continue to connect, Denver's defense has to stretch, which only creates more room for SGA to operate. Jokic's battle in the paint. Despite the poor shooting start, Jokić kept working. He tried to establish position inside, facing up, turning shoulder to shoulder against Holmgren, but the length and verticality of OKC's rookie were effective. Jokić missed another contested look, something rare for him. The Nuggets were creating second chances, grabbing offensive boards, but they couldn't capitalize. Porter Jr. had 2 clean looks in one possession, short on both. The frustration showed on his face. Denver's game plan needed adjustments. OKC's energy edge, every 50-50 ball seemed to land in OKC's hands. They were more active, more urgent. SGA found Dort again, and although he didn't score, his effort to dive for loose balls, contest shots, and make the extra pass was energizing his teammates. Holmgren, after his early 3, started becoming a factor defensively. His rim protection altered multiple shots, and his rebounding kept Denver from resetting their offense. End of the first, a message. Sent as the first quarter wound down, OKC had established a clear identity. Attack in transition, protect the rim, and hit open threes. They were feeding off the crowd, and their bench was animated with every stop and bucket. Denver, meanwhile, looked like a team still searching. Jokić wasn't getting the easy shots he's used to, and Murray hadn't found his rhythm. The role, players weren't hitting open looks, and the defense was bending under the pressure of OKC's quick ball movement. After a blazing start from Oklahoma City, the Denver Nuggets knew they needed to flip the switch. Fast. The Thunder were leading 12-4, having come out with a wave of energy. But Denver, calm and composed under pressure, has proven time and again they're never out of it. Not with Nikola Jokić at the helm. The possession begins with OKC pressing forward. Holmgren triggers the fast break after a miss, pushing the tempo. He dishes it to Jalen Williams, who shows a quick fake before finding the open man in the corner. Isaiah Hartenstein stops, rises, and drains the jumper. Clean. That's the type of play OKC has relied on. Swift ball movement, unselfish play, and shooting with confidence. But as one coach said it best, you have to have the next play mentality. You can't let the brilliance of Jokić or the physicality of Gordon take you out of your game. And that's exactly what Denver understands. Jokić will make the tough shots. Gordon will bring the power. But what separates teams in the playoffs is discipline. Sticking to your system no matter what's happening on the other end. Jokić adjusts and delivers Nikola Jokić, struggling early against Holmgren's length, and the Thunder's collapsing zone starts adjusting. He stops forcing it and begins reading the floor, locating Aaron Gordon lurking on the baseline. With a no-look hook pass, Jokić sets up Gordon for an easy 2. That's Denver Nuggets basketball. Movement, misdirection, and vision. Chet Holmgren responds by putting the ball on the deck, showing off his versatility as a 7-footer. Gordon quickly recovers, switches to defend Luguentz Dort, who tries to drive the lane. The shot clock's ticking down. Williams gets the ball, isolated. Against Jamal Murray, he takes a step-back jumper, but it's way off the mark. Denver secures the rebound. The Thunder had a 12-4 lead, but the Nuggets weren't going away. Denver goes inside, breaking the ice after a brutal start from deep, 0 for 6 on threes. Denver stops settling. They go back to what works, attacking the paint. Since their last time out, they score 3 straight buckets at the rim. Murray, facing his countryman Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, uses a quick stop-and-go move and finishes strong inside. The Canadian clash is real, and Murray just got the better of it on that play. Holmgren tries to counter by charging straight at Jokić, but Denver's big man doesn't flinch. He walls off Holmgren at the top of the key, cutting off any path to the basket. OKC's strategy to drag Jokić out and attack downhill had worked in Game 4, but now Denver was adapting. Defensive zone and transition buckets, David Adelman. The Nuggets assistant coach was asked pre-game what he noticed about OKC's defense. His answer? It's close to a 5-man zone. He explained how every time Jokić touches the ball, all 5 Thunder defenders shift their attention. It's not always a trap, but every body on the floor rotates towards Jokić, anticipating his next move. It works for a while, until it doesn't. Bruce Brown gets a hand in the passing lane, knocking the ball away. A turnover. Denver's got numbers, 3 on 2. Brown leads the break, bounce pass to Michael Porter Jr. He takes a dribble, slashes inside, and finishes in traffic. It's a vintage Denver sequence. Defense to offense, crisp transition passing, and a bucket in the paint. This was the spark Denver needed. They were the best team in the league at scoring in the paint all season, but that production had dropped drastically in this series. Now, they were finding their groove again. Denver's 14-2 run, Thunder reeling. The Thunder had landed the first punch. They were up 12-2, but Denver answers with a 14-2 run, flipping the game on its head. OKC needed a response. Porter Jr., who's been battling through a back injury suffered in the first round against the Clippers, looks more fluid. His cuts are sharper, and his confidence is rising. His scoring, rebounding, and defense are suddenly coming alive. Meanwhile, SGA takes matters into his own hands. He creates space, elevates, and releases a mid-range jumper. It's overcooked, off the back iron. Hartenstein is there for the tip-in, but it rolls out. Denver rebounds again, pushing tempo. Showtime Nuggets. Murray and Gordon connect. Murray picks it up in the open court. Westbrook checks him. Murray goes behind the back, razzle-dazzle. Then a slick bounce pass to Gordon, who cuts through the middle and lays it in. That's high-level execution. No wasted motion, no hesitation. Denver has made 7 straight shots, many of them at the rim, and they've reclaimed all the momentum. The Nuggets are now moving like a machine. Thunders. Answer. A much-needed bucket. OKC needs to halt the bleeding. Jalen Williams gets into the lane and throws up a floater. And it drops. That ends a 10-0 Denver run. It's a big moment. OKC had looked stunned for a few minutes, but that basket steadied them. On the next trip down, Jokić gets it back. In the post against Hartenstein. Gilgeous-Alexander slides over to help, cutting off the baseline. Jokić calmly kicks it out, resets the offense, and reposts. This time passing to Bruce Brown. Denver was executing its game plan to perfection. Draw attention, exploit the gaps, and get quality looks. OKC was scrambling to rotate. The zone. Strikes again, that defensive 5-man zone was starting to show cracks. It had confused Denver in Game 4, but now they were ready. The Nuggets moved the ball quickly, bypassing help defenders and creating passing lanes. This also allowed Denver to rest more on defense because once they were scoring consistently, they didn't have to chase SGA and company in transition. Bruce Brown pulls up for a 3 after a turnover. Splash. The crowd is stunned. What started as a 12-2 lead for OKC is now a 22-14 Denver advantage. The Thunder's hot start was a distant memory. Summary of the first half so far. OKC dominated the opening minutes with pace and perimeter shooting. Denver adjusted with interior scoring, going on a 14-2 run. Jokić found his rhythm as a facilitator, and Gordon punished soft spots in the defense. Porter Jr. showed signs of life after struggling with injuries. Murray mixed skill with style, creating highlight plays while controlling pace. OKC's offense started to stall under Denver's zone looks and defensive adjustments. The flip too strong. Denver leads by 2. Caruso in the bench has been a huge factor for the Thunder Gilders. Alexander missed it. Jokić looking to give it up. He does to Brown on the wing. We have 4 minutes to go. In the first, Jordan one-on-one with Hartenstein. That means Caruso is dealing with Jokić, and he's so good, they don't leave anybody on an island, particularly against Joik Wiggins and Wallace and Brown from the other side. Got him start the game. They were 0 for 6 from the three-point line. And 2 shots right there. By Brown in each corner, keeping that defense honest. And Westbrook tried to take it away from Hartenstein. Could not. Wiggins threads the needle for the Caruso J. The high error goes. And how good is into the floor. Big lift off the bench for Margot. Got to find open guys and trust it. Can you let it fly? And on the defensive end, what are your focuses tonight? A lot of pace, high energy in the first. Jake Alexander picked up by Straw. Good help there from Watson. Joe is in for OKC. Joe fakes on a 3 drives. It kicks it. Caruso missed it from long range. Watson was called on that offensive foul on the previous possession. Murray cuts away and breaks free for 2. And the Go gets on the bench. This team, finding ways to score, of course getting stopped. Great screen and roll action there. Great defense, 3 bodies there. They're going to make him get off the ball as they force a turnover. OKC felt it was last touch by Denver. That's not how the officials saw it. So the Nuggets take over, ball popped in the air. Wallace accelerating all the way. Cans that creates a lot of opportunities in and out on a free throw, and Denver maintains a 1-point lead over OKC. Strawler was called for the foul Gordon. On a handoff, Watson wasn't expecting it. He was trying to make a cut, but he does recover. Caruso gets a piece, shot clock down to 5. Denver's got nothing going here. Gordon on a turnaround, he's got it. Aaron Gordon with a bailout, good defense, better. Offense there, Aaron Gordon with a tough shot. 8 points in 10 minutes for Gordon Gilders. Alexander missed it on the floater. He brought it down low, and Westbrook takes it away. Denver attacking Westbrook. Hard cut, Joik on the bench for Denver. They lead it by 3. Murray bingo from long range. Yeah, I tell you, this unit playing scoring gives Joik more time for a breather on the bench. 35-9. Nuggets spin by Holmgren. Jalen Williams and Chad Holmgren were a combined 0 of 13 from 3-point range and still find a way to win. They rally to do it, they did. They were down in the 4th quarter, but they found a way. Sometimes you gotta win ugly in the playoffs on the road. They did that. Westbrook over Joe Woe. Flying in Watson, he keeps it alive. Tremendous offensive rebound there for Peyton Watson-Murray using the Gordon screen. He wants to dance with Holmgren. Murray, jab jumper. It's short Watson. Another board teammate, but great effort. Great activity. The block by SGA Gordon on a fade and a loose mug. Second foul on Russell Westbrook. 3 minutes gone by in the 2nd quarter. 4-point lead for the Nuggets Guilers. Alexander continues on the drive and Murray gets a piece. Get it ahead. Watson couldn't locate it. Contact. Averaging 27, 5 in the series, but he averaged 32, 7 in the regular season. Back in squares and hits, and that's his play right there. Good defense on him, but SGA with space and time able to convert. 35-33 Nuggets, Gordon back. Dort to Westbrook, tried to switch hands, but he missed it. Oklahoma City walled up underneath isolation initially. Brown trying to help scraping at the ball. SGA still only 28% from the 3-point line here in the first half. Jones-Alexander makes his move. 3 defenders in the area, and that one rims out. Cleaned up by Joik. Nuggets have missed their last 5 shots. Porter back in, playing with 2 fouls. Brown trying to get Joik involved, taps it back. 2-man game against Williams, 7, to shoot Jokić the back-end kick. Strawthers ready, and he sticks the tray. And Strawther has a lot of clout. Yep, Showed some good things and the trust from Joyce to pass it for him to knock it down. 38-33. Denver. Lou Dort. Open look is short, and the rebound to Brown into the hands of Westbrook. They get into it quickly here. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Brown driving couldn't finish. Westbrook somehow saw him on the cut. Holmgren spins on Jokić Duel, takes the baseline, taken away by Strawer, streaking up the floor, and Williams big. Body tries to draw a charge, Jokić, though once again, offensive rebounding, second chance. First team into the conference finals after taking care of business in 5 against Cleveland. Williams pull-up jumper. He's got it. And I like that play, and a handoff Williams going downhill. But give credit. Denver's defense has really caused trouble here. To OKC and particularly Gilgeous-Alexander on the bench. Jokić passes out of the post. Porter baseline, drive adjusts, and gets rid of it at the last moment. Jokić flips it up. Does it go, and it's saved by OKC's Caruso, ahead for Wiggins looking to drive it. Wild flip. No rebounded by Strother. The Gonzaga product seeing legitimate minutes, it bounces off the shoulder of Jokić. Get it ahead, Wallace. They get Wiggins involved, sticks the 3. And that lineup tasting great on selfish play. Once again, getting a turnover out in transition for that open 3. It's a 2-point game. Westbrook to Brown working the baseline for 2. I like Westport. Posting up those smaller guards. Big first half for Williams. Knock away by Porter, but into the hands of Wallace Hartenstein. Hands to Caruso Cha-Ching. A 3 lineup that's in the game now for OKC. They have held the opponent to 40% shooting. So, the defense has been spectacular. And the help as Gordon finds a way. Beautiful pass, fantastic finish there. But this unit for OKC has worked in this series. 10 points now for Gordon partner. Shot, boom. Now sending games 3 and 4 on the road. Certainly has had success at home with that shot. Joyce with the left 46-4-3. Jokić has got 13. Williams kick for the wingage jumper off the rim and hits timeout. David Adam talked about going inside. They've had success when they ISO Jokić on. The on one side in the low block and clear out everyone else. Both teams shooting 49%. Murray swinging Porter to Jokić launches a 3 book it. And that's important. We talked to David Adam in 3s. He wants him to be aggressive looking for that 3-pointer. That's the first 3 he's taken tonight. Hartenstein. That one bounces off the rim. Controlled by Gordon. Denver up by 6. They can add to it. Gordon picked up by the smaller Wallace Murray drive. Murray finishes. That was fantastic from Jamal Murray. The jumper by Wiggins that bounces off Jokić ahead. Gordon couldn't grab it. Move on the offensive end. 70 run Caruso. He can't end it. Jokić ahead Porter. He's got Murray cutting. The pass was offline. Murray for Denver. As you said, he has to be the 4th quarter in this series. Going to need him. He is one of their great closers for the Nuggets, Hartenstein. Jokić was a little late, arrow the basketball, and knocked down 3-pointers. Open 3-pointers will be key here in the second half, and see who wins a 9 run for the Thunder to end the second quarter. Murray's jumper doesn't go, and it's rebounded by Gilgeous-Alexander. Chance to tie or take the lead. That's for the tie, able to go coast to coast. He struggled a little bit in that first half. 4 turnovers from SGA. Jokić drains the triple to defend when Jokić is knocking down those 3-pointers, and I believe that's 3 or 4 here for the game. Up top at halftime, Stephanie caught up with Mark dishing of their defense on Jokić. Yes, he has a lot more points. He's making those 3s. He just says he wants it to be a little tighter. Orton and Jokić. They want to switch and get Homer on Jokić. Hartenstein. Great defense. Jokić full-time 24 now for Nikola Jokić at 61-59 Denver. And this 2-3. Zone has given OKC problems, but Williams couldn't finish it. Homegrown away by Jokić, who controls it with no foul, called Zach Zarba, David Guthrie, Curtis Blair, outstanding officiating crew, Murray nobody at the rim, and he on Chad Homeger. Murray puts the Nuggets up by 5, and neither team settling here to start the third quarter. Getting paint touches on the offensive end has worked. George Alexander hesitates and scores. Here we go. That Gordon Jokić screener roll action trying to force. A switch Gordon to the paint kick it out for. The intensity was rising, the pace quickening, and both teams were trading haymakers like heavyweights. Jamal Murray, ever the engine of the Nuggets offense, had that look in his eyes. With Denver holding a slim 3-point lead, he caught the ball on the wing, turned the corner on against Dort, and floated it up off the glass. Soft touch, nothing but net. The move was slick, the finish even smoother. That was saucy. The kind of finish only a few guards in the league can pull off in traffic. On the other end, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his fellow Canadian national teammate, answered right back. Falling off balance, SGA somehow controlled his body mid-air and dropped in a tough finish. He made it look easy, but that was a high-difficulty shot. Recapping the war so far, the series. Saga, let's take a quick breath and remember the journey that brought us here. Game 2 was an OKC blowout, dismantling. The Nuggets 106-49. Game 3 flipped the narrative. Denver, with their home crowd behind them, won in overtime, 113-104. Then came Game 4, a grinded-out afternoon battle, with OKC edging it 92-87. This series had already delivered everything. Blowouts, overtimes, low-scoring slugfests, and now a third-quarter showdown. Murray in full command back to the action. Murray shakes Dort again, creating just enough separation. He kicks it out. Aaron Gordon is open on the wing for 3. No good. Hartenstein skies for the rebound, but Denver is owning the glass in this quarter. Gilgeous-Alexander slashes right back, driving strong to the rim and finishing. SGA was relentless. No jumpers yet in the third quarter. All business at the basket. Denver's ball movement remained sharp. Jokić, with his deceptive speed and IQ, came off a double screen and launched a triple. Pure. He now had 27 points, and Denver led 69-65. The Nuggets were shooting it at 48% from the field, and the rhythm was building. Dort responds. Momentarily, Chet Holmgren tried to create offense, driving into Michael Porter Jr., and then dropped it off to Dort. In the corner, Dort fired too strong. Hartenstein tried to keep it alive, but Bruce Brown corralled it and triggered Denver's transition attack. Brown pitched it up early to Gordon, who found a trailing Jamal Murray. Bang! A trailing 3 that splashed through the net. Murray now had 19 and was just warming up. OKC needed a big moment, and Dort delivered. After some ball movement, he got it back, rose with confidence, and drained a crucial 3 to match Murray's shot. That brought it to 72-68, still a tight contest. Jokic's patience, Murray's heat. Czech Denver ran more action through Jokić. He backed Hartenstein into the paint, surveyed the defense, then fired a bullet pass to the corner. Extra swing to Porter Jr., but it was off. Gilgeous-Alexander secured the rebound, but every OKC miss was feeding Denver's momentum. Murray lined up another 3, this one from deep behind a Jokić handoff, and buried it. 22 points now for the fiery point guard. Holmgren tried to answer, spinning in the post, but his shot rimmed out. Gordon grabbed the rebound, and Denver's lead swelled to 7 with under 7 minutes to go in the third. Murray then took on Dort again. He got a screen from Jokić, then another. Dort stayed with him, but Murray used a pivot to spin and fade. Bucket. That was tough. Dort had done everything right, and it still didn't matter. Murray was in the zone. OKC, trying to regain footing, had a costly turnover next possession. Everything was going Denver's way. Denver's 11-3 run and offensive rebounding, the next. Play was a flurry. Murray passed to Brown, who missed, but Gordon snagged the offensive board. As he went up, Holmgren ripped it away. A rare defensive stand for OKC in this stretch. Still, Denver had pushed the lead to 77-68, capping an 11-3 run. OKC tried to execute a give-and-go. Jalen Williams broke free toward the rim, but blew the layup. That miss loomed large. Denver came back. Murray, now watched by Dort like a shadow, kept attacking. More dribble handoffs, more pick-and-pop action. This time, the ball found its way to Gordon again, who buried the three. He was stepping up big in the third. This offensive explosion from Denver felt familiar. They had done this in the second quarter, opening up an 11-point lead, only for OKC to cut it by halftime. But this time, Denver looked more in control. Williams tries to keep it close. Jalen Williams got one to fall, a smooth jumper just inside the arc. OKC was desperate for any kind of rhythm, any kind of run. SGA, meanwhile, was racking up points but not assists, just 3 dimes through 3 quarters. Denver's swarming defense had limited his playmaking. The score, 80-69 Denver. Murray kept his foot on the gas. He used another screen, slipped into the lane, and kissed it off the glass. Count it. That soft touch again. He had answers for everything. Wallace and Caruso enter. Energy shift. Jason Wallace checked in, giving OKC some fresh legs. Caruso, always the energy guy, also returned. OKC ran the break. Wallace got it ahead to Caruso, who dumped it back to Holmgren. Then Williams was open on the wing and missed. Caruso flew in for the board but couldn't control it. Holmgren grabbed it eventually and drew contact. The deficit was trimmed to 7, under 4 minutes left in the third. But the foul count began creeping up. Second on Jokić, a potential factor heading into crunch time. The final minutes of the third quarter had tension written all over them. With Denver clinging to a 7-point lead, things started to get sloppy. The Nuggets committed their first turnover of the second half, a rare misstep in what had been a strong stretch. OKC tried to capitalize, but Dort, trying to push in transition, was whistled for a travel. He didn't put the ball down in time, and Murray, who had been excellent on both ends, slid into position and forced the call. With the clock nearing the 3-minute mark, Denver led 80-73. Brown got a touch, worked a screen from Jokić, who faked a dribble handoff and drove hard to the rim. Jokic's ability to bait defenders is unmatched. That subtle hesitation opened up a lane, and he converted once again. Denver now had 42 points in the paint, a massive contrast to the 24 points in their earlier playoff losses. OKC came back with possession. Caruso cut to the rim and drew contact. A hard foul sent him to the line. The foul was on Watson, his 4th, and it was clear Michael Malone had a decision to make. Denver often rests Jokić to begin the 4th, but tonight felt different. This might be one of those games where Jokić doesn't sit again, not with OKC threatening and the margins thin. Westbrook brings the hustle, but not the buckets rustle. Westbrook, still trying to get on the board, finally attacked the rim with intent. He sliced through the defense and earned a trip to the line, his first free throw attempt of the game. He had been 0 for 3 from the field, but his energy was infectious. When Westbrook enters, it changes the rhythm. His first free throw was pure. You could feel the crowd stir with anticipation. Score, 88-80 Denver, as we headed into the final stretch. Start of the 4th. Heavy legs, heavy drama. The 4th quarter began with the Nuggets up by 7. Westbrook brought it up the floor and fed Murray. Jokić got a post touch against Hartenstein and pivoted, then spotted Westbrook alone in the corner. The pass was on time, but the 3-point shot was way off, an air ball. The shot clock didn't reset, and Denver couldn't recover in time. Turnover. It was a frustrating sequence, especially since Jokić had played a perfect third quarter. OKC tried to pounce on the momentum shift. Williams isolated against Watson, then kicked to Wiggins. He attacked the lane but lost control. Another turnover. Westbrook picked it up and ignited the break. He kicked it out to Gordon, who stepped into a 3 off the mark. Luckily for OKC, Williams was there again for the rebound. Williams's zigzag, Hartenstein's float, Jokic's calm. Jalen Williams tried to initiate offense. He used a crossover to try and shake Gordon, then zigzagged through defenders. He dished it to Hartenstein, who floated it from the elbow. No good. Watson cleared the miss. The game had settled into a grind. Tough shots, missed looks, defensive battles. Neither team was shooting it well. At this point, Denver's shooting had dipped to 45%, while OKC hovered around 47%. Yet the Nuggets still controlled the pace, thanks to Jokic's calming presence. He moved like a chess master, always a step ahead. A backdoor pass here, a feint, then a step-in hook there. Just poetry in motion. Flashback to Game 4. The danger of comfort. The memory of Game 4 loomed large. In that game, Denver had led 73-66 with just over 10 minutes remaining, and then collapsed as OKC went on an 11-0 run to steal the win. That reminder was fresh in the minds of both teams. The message was clear. No lead is safe. More physicality, more scraps. With just under 10 minutes to go, Dario Saric checked in and tried to feed Hartenstein inside. Another battle ensued. The ball was knocked loose and Watson dove to secure it. The play was messy, but the energy was real. Denver could feel the chance to stretch the lead again. Murray went one-on-one against Jalen Williams, the shot clock winding down. He got a sliver of space and launched a tough turnaround. Short. Another miss. OKC got the rebound and ran. SGA, always composed, brought it up. They were down 9 as we approached the 9-minute mark of the fourth. It was time to make a push. Critical possessions. But no conversions. Brown stepped up defensively, staying in front of SGA, forcing the ball out of his hands. Help came from Murray. They swung it. Dort had it. Kicked it to Caruso in the corner. He rose. Missed. Brown secured the rebound again. Both teams were grinding on defense, switching everything, contesting every look. But the fourth quarter, so far, belonged to neither side. It was hanging in the balance. The next big shot could tilt the momentum. As the fourth quarter wore on, OKC started chipping away with confidence, while Denver's offense hit a wall. At one point, the Nuggets had gone over 3 minutes without a field goal. Their rhythm disrupted, their movement stagnant. Porter Jr. tried to get involved but missed another jumper, his shoulder clearly limiting him. He'd been struggling the entire series, and now in the clutch, his touch betrayed him again. On the other end, Jokić Dort was heating up. After knocking down a corner 3 earlier, he stepped into another one without hesitation. Money. Dort had now hit 3 triples in the fourth quarter alone, cutting the lead to 92-87 and making it clear OKC wasn't going away. Denver ran another high screen with Jokić. Dort fought through the first screen, but the second one slowed him just enough for Murray to drive and float up a soft shot. It bounced off. Jokić tipped it, but no dice. OKC kept the pressure on. SGA feeds. Dort delivers. OKC's offense worked. The ball, beautifully. Gilgeous-Alexander initiated, and when Denver's help defense rotated, he swung it to the open man. Dort again. Catch and shoot from deep. Bang. That one cut it to 94-92, and the arena was shaking. On the bench, Thunder coach Mark Daigneault was fired up, but composed. They'd been here before. Jokić responds. Vintage Joker mode Murray. Started getting creative. Behind-the-back passes, misdirection, and resets. One play ended with Jokić getting the mismatch he wanted against Hartenstein. He faked, spun, elevated, and missed. Another tough sequence, but Denver stuck with it. Eventually, Jokić got back to the line and sank 2 key free throws to make it 96-94 Nuggets, giving him 35 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. Still, OKC wouldn't fold. With under 5 minutes to go, SGA attacked again. The ball was tipped, recovered, kicked out, and eventually Holmgren laid it in, tying the game at 96-96. The rookie hadn't scored a lot, but his presence inside and timing on defense were huge. SGA's calm under fire on the next play, Gilgeous-Alexander came off a high screen, froze the defense with a hesitation, and then launched a mid-range jumper. Splash. MVP chants erupted as he gave the Thunder a 197 lead with just under 2 minutes to go. Denver answered, of course. Murray and Jokić worked the 2-man game, and after a kick-out and repost, Jokić floated it over Holmgren for his 41st point of the night. The game was tied again at 100-100, setting up a thrilling final 2 minutes. Big-time buckets, big-time players. Now came the defining stretch. SGA, in full control, backed down Murray, then turned and faded away. A clean release, perfect arc, all net. 102-100 OKC. It was a moment, a signature shot in a statement game. Denver came back to Jokić. He used a pirouette move in the post and somehow dropped in another acrobatic bucket to knot it up again. 102-all. The game had become a duel of stars, but OKC had more answers. Another drive by SGA, kick to Dort. Extra pass to Jalen Williams, and he drilled the three. 105-102. Thunder. Then Jokić passed out of a double to Porter for a corner three. It grazed the rim. Miss. Under 1 minute left. SGA closes on the next possession. SGA let the clock run. He got the switch, attacked again, and buried a dagger from the top of the key. 107-102 OKC with 42 seconds left. Denver was in desperation mode. They found Porter Jr. for a catch-and-shoot three, airball. Brown tried to gather, lost it. Porter scrambled, found Gordon for a three. It rattled out. OKC's knockout punch had landed. Final punches. Too late for Denver. Jokić managed a late bucket to make it 110-105, but OKC controlled the tempo and made enough free throws down the stretch to keep the lead safe. Williams hit 1 of 2. Denver's final possession took too long. Murray dribbled out precious seconds and launched a three that clanged off the rim. That was the end. Williams secured the rebound, and OKC dribbled out the clock. Final score, Oklahoma City Thunder. 112, Denver Nuggets 105 post-game summary. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 35 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Clutch MVP-level performance. Nikola Jokić, 41 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. A warrior, but didn't get enough help late. Dort, 4 threes, 3 in the fourth quarter. Massive role player impact. Thunder defense held Denver to 1 of 10 shooting during a key 7-minute stretch in the fourth. OKC outscored Denver 27-17 in the final quarter to take Game 5 in the series lead.